This video is called Why Demons Are Dumb Enough to Rush the Gates of Heaven. First, you have to understand that Jesus never wrote in the Bible. Second, you have to understand who did and why. The short guy, who was a scientist and philosopher, and people who are variations of him, a tall, uncoordinated version, etc. Look up Homer's statue. Look up the statues of the Greeks and the Romans. The majority of them were short guys, kind of feeble guys, trying to exert power over a pagan population of ruffians and so on. And you had the big brute. You can imagine where they come from, but just by looking around at the people today, you can kind of get somewhat of a feel of who they were and why. They were democratizing the pharaoh's power, the top martial artist's power. Okay, so they needed to write a book that pointed to a time in Egyptian history where Egyptians were wrong, and not to Horus the Skywalker and Narmer, because the book is about baby Horus and Isis, right? The virgin and the child, so to speak, right? Hell, okay, is also a deity and not just a place. So is Hades, a deity and a place. Okay, Pluto is compared to Hades, and he's called the rich. So the hell in the Bible is the evolution, right? The twist over time of people describing another idea, which is a twist of something else. So incrementally, as new groups of people take over, they add their own twist and rewrite history. Okay? The rich refers first and foremost to the ill-gotten gains of these people. We have the story of Hades kidnapping Persephone, right? Their women are ill-gotten gains, thus their children are the works of ill-gotten gains. The rich consistently produce children that are evil, and they exert their power over the world through corporations, corpus, body, and they try to get you to favor those two body types, the short kind of manipulative body type, right, which today is the most profoundly pronounced in the Asian martial artist, and the Jew, with all due respect. The big body type is most pronounced in the Ku Klux Klansman, the military man, right? The guy with a lot of gear. That's why N-word means no gear. Okay? And there's a lot of words. Even burger is a subtle reference to putting on weight, put some meat on you so you can carry gear and backpack right through the mud and snow, right? Versus skywalking quickly, right? On compact sand and outmaneuvering people. You understand me? And using it to slide across and stab them, right? Using the slippery and compactness to your advantage, right? The terrain, the battlefield. Anyway, ill-gotten gains, right? Healthy. So the healthy people tend to be some of the most evil people, right? These are the rich people. They want you to believe that demons are these ugly troll-looking things. But in reality, it's people like Donald Trump, it's people like the politicians, it's people like the corporations, the eugenicists. These guys put a special emphasis on looking more healthy than other people. And as a result, the people who, in their pyramid, which is really God's plan in reverse, they're the most evil, right? They're pointed down. The people who are, as they're richer, they tend to be more evil. And I go as far as to say that I don't see a single example of an excuse, of an exception to this rule. You see my family being screened out and not being treated fairly. That's perhaps the biggest mistake they ever made in terms of making themselves look good, because this definitively drew the line. It said, look, you cannot be wealthy and be good. This guy's a brain surgeon. He has all this network. All these people look up to him. All these people owe him favors, right? He's one of the top doctors. He was like, his office is full of plaques that refer to the top doctor of America, Silicon Valley, and so on and so forth. So, when you look at this thing, it makes it clear that the rich are evil, right? Hades, Pluto, right? Pluto, another name for Hades, the rich, evil. It's sad that a lot of people miss that. It's evil to be a gold digger. It's evil to aspire to be rich, because to make it there, you have to be evil. You have to be able, and in turn, it's evil to survive, because it's trickle-down evil. Are you with the bread of God, the breeding cycle of God, or have you bred to be red like the devil? And what are the devil's forms? That little pesky guy with a pitchfork tail, and the big bull, right? And make it clear to you, as they twist the story, they've also tried to kind of do their role reversal, Saturnalia, Kronos, Christmas kind of thing, the crow, and confuse you about who the martial artists are, who the heroes are, and so on and so forth. So when we look at this, The martial artists actually, for the most part, had rough faces, okay? Hurt faces. When you're practicing and you're breathing heavy and you have this hurt face, and over time, it forges a more smooth face. Okay, there's a difference between that and the soft kind of businessman in a business suit, right? Oh yes, oh give me the everything. Oh, can you take no? This steak is not good enough for me. It's just a little bit something wrong with it. You know, they're very sensitive to things because they're bitch basically. Okay, so the rich kind of soft business face is a bitch, and then of course the gay face, with all due respect, is different than this face as well. This face is like the grace of God. It's not a baby face like some people describe it with angels, right? A baby face, no. It is a soft face as a result of martial arts training and sweating out things, toxins, okay? It's also what kind of a lifestyle allows for this. I did it through no ill-gotten gains, through a hero perspective, from the royal family of a people that is pretty much the top martial artist group in the world, okay? That is the right way to do it. Using technology in the gym and drugs and performance-enhancing drugs and using sabotage. Think about Tonya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan. How many other people did she sabotage along the way? How many people don't get caught sabotaging? So there's performance-reducing drugs, there's performance-enhancing drugs, and even in popular culture like Bloodsport or Kickboxer, when that guy blew the stuff in the eyes of Van Damme and he couldn't see, right? They did something similar with my eyes. Why? Because this is a very kind of basic way to sabotage, a no-brain way. Let's reduce his reaction time through his vision so he seems like he's fast and in shape, but he just can't see. Let's find ways to subtly reduce his efficacy to make ourselves seem superior to his natural form. Utter garbage. Utterly pathetic. I would be right to say, and I didn't even take that route, that nobody who isn't black should be allowed to compete because they simply have too many ill-gotten gains. Okay. And when we look at the natives, for example, who is native and who's white and who's Spanish? Look at Columbus's paintings. How many Hispanics today look like Columbus in the face? Is that a coincidence? Were there a bunch of Columbus-looking guys before he got here? Or did it happen after, when him and his race, the Portuguese, the Italians, the Spanish, all these different people that came around, as to some degree, right, came and in their pirate nature, maybe not the Portuguese, right, the French, the English, blah, 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 and they had their way with these people. Should the descendants of ill-gotten gains be elevated to the top martial artist position after they elevate those things to get the best trainers, the best food, equipment, and technology? Certainly they should be void. Even though they had these things, they still couldn't beat me. They still couldn't find their way to the most logical way to challenge somebody in the tradition of tens of thousands of years of martial arts sparring, right? The monkey picks up a stick, sharpens it, right? Eventually man stands up like 2 million years ago or something. And, 300,000 years ago, modern humans or something like that, right? Eventually, the stick fighting, it's like, look, I could kill you, so therefore I don't need to kill you. I'm in charge. This is what God naturally gave us. And I've gone over this many, many times, right? The reason why they had the staff, right? The staff, your staff. Who's in charge? Who's staff? Okay. The stick fighter, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, the tree of life, right? The tree of knowledge, a little magic wand, da-da-da, I know how to do illusion, right? And I know your tricks versus the staff of authority. And ultimately, it is the continuity of the staff of martial arts. When the martial artist gets old, he uses his staff of authority. He cannot do that if he doesn't emerge publicly. The truth shall come to the light. And if they don't challenge the guy with the most logical argument why he's the top martial artist publicly, not some sports-based, Olympic-based, movies-based, reputation, fame, and an ill-gotten culture, that's garbage. No wise man, no honorable man gives a shit about that. Anyway, so let's think about the responses, shall we? The African honorable pissed off. I'm ready to die for what I believe. I cannot stand the dishonor. Ironically, one of the places you see a variation of it is with Muslims. He can't stand the dishonor, so he's going to fight to the death. The Muslim doesn't want you to make his woman a slut, so he's going to fight to the death. So they kind of throw them all under the bus together under the name of ISIS, because where was Egypt? It's where the blacks came up. The Nile was flowing south to north to meet the Semites. Okay, let's demonize all these guys, so the Ptolemies and the Greeks who came later. Mind you, there was some degree of white-skinned people before that. But when they really got the upper hand, and history makes it clear, is when the Ptolemies and the Greeks came in. The Greeks and the Romans, the same guys who gave you the foundation of Western culture. Okay? It's straightforward. And when they came in, they had armor and unnatural, weapons. And their ways were different. This is the foreign period. Their ways were not natural. They were different. Anyway, and they were unnatural. And they weren't based on martial art principles. They weren't martial artists. They were grapplers, and they were military men with their respective armor. And even the Bible talks about armor. It talks about armor and even war chariots in the Old Testament. It goes on to talk about put on the armor of God at some point. Okay, they're talking about an unnatural mage direction, which is seeking to replace the martial arts spirit direction. So we have various forms of immature responses. Even the samurai's response to some degree is immature. That's why it's a red circle on the flag of Japan. No servant can be greater. Who do they serve? They're trying to maintain the image, honor as image of their masters. Okay? They should look for where honor truly is and stand with this guy and not try to save their people or their image, especially in this technological age. Number 3, what few of them may be left. It might be that none of them are left. Number 3, conservative cop response, right? He kind of sighs. He's angry. He's annoyed with the system. He's like paperwork, right? He's not truly trying to solve the problem. He's doing God's plan in reverse. He's enforcing the law of man. And I remember when I was younger, I was dating a female. I was about 21 years old, probably 21. And I'm in San Jose, South San Jose. My girlfriend's the type to call the cops real quickly and try to leverage that. I'll call the cops on you, nigga, and so on and so forth. I'm in the car with her, my little brother. It was a couple years or so after I got in an accident, and my back was really bad. And, for one reason or another, she has a problem with this dude who's a big boxer type, big bull-headed boxer type. And basically, she calls the cops, whoop-de-whoop, right? They basically tell us to fuck off, not in those words. They say, why don't you try to pull over somewhere and have the business there call the cops? They were trying to do things in a way that while I was injured, I would get beat up by this guy, and they would have it on camera to some degree and put that in their pocket because they have nothing like that. They have to make it up. So they can put it in their pocket and say, look what we have, right? He wasn't that good as you think. Oh, it's priceless footage. It's bitch shit. This is the culture of illusion bitch shit. That's some Wit and Gammett, Harry Potter, pig type of bitch shit. These people are bitches. Okay, they'll go to great lengths to demonize a black hero, right? Kill a nigga, he's a hero. Cops give a damn about a Negro. Pull the trigger, kill a nigga, he's a hero. And if I had gotten mad and went to find this nigga and blew his fucking head off or hit him with a machete or something, what do you think would happen? My life would be thrown away. They're misdirection, pig-ass motherfuckers in the most safe big city in America. Utter trash. Utter trash. Yes, the SJPD should live in infamy. I don't feel sorry for any of them. They get smoked. They are scum. There is no excuse for that kind of cowardice, that kind of white supremacy, that kind of fat pig supremacy attempt. Utter, fat fucking demon, pig nonsense. Who can blame me for these words unless they're a bitch? That goes to you punk-ass pigs. Fuck you. Anyway, moving on. Playing stupid, like when a little kid does something wrong. Bitch shit. Annoyed. I'm annoyed even though I'm guilty and my forefathers didn't stand with the Pharaoh. You're a bitch. Shut up. Okay? You're blind to the good. Ignore and ignorant, right? You're ignorant. Indulgent. I'm going to indulge, and get fat. You're going to fuck off money. Consumer society. It's a bitch response in a bitch society. A sicko complex. He's a bitch. Smiling dog. We're having fun. Oh, cartoons. Bitch shit. Dull senses, blank, matrix, FBI face, bitch. This is irreversible. Irreversible. The bull. Who you listen to? Reversible. Who you listen to, who you watch, who you focus on, right? Which foe are you cussing? The Lord, you fucking moron? You dumbass? There's no atheists in the trenches, as the saying goes. There's no people that disagree with me that's fucking stupid in the trenches. When everyone's acting like a sissy beta bitch, they're quick to disagree. A mistake, right? It's a reproductive cycle. The tits, female, take. Okay? How you raise your daughter, women rejecting them, creating the reproductive cycle. It's all mistakes when they do it.